I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're getting educated about the show, then you can click on that merchandise tab, and that's going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all the different special event t-shirts. Check out our brand new Last One to Die t-shirt that is just now getting into our online store, and all the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck still available in our online store. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, and so many other gimmicks. We sold out so that you can buy in. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you picking up some merchandise as of late, especially those brand new t-shirts. Social media is critical importance to this independent hockey operation, so listen up, Renegades. Here's how you can help support the cause. Please go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok and give us a follow, give us a like, or do all of those. Please also go to YouTube and subscribe to the Renegades of Puck channel. Turn on those notifications as well. Thank you so much to all of our brand new subscribers checking out Renegades of Puck TV. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you. More than 200 episodes and now individual segments, and we're breaking it down into more and more playlists all the time over there on our YouTube channel. Of course, the audio podcast is being heard by more Renegades than ever thanks to the Full Press NHL Network. We are so appreciative of the Full Press Network having our back. They have helped us achieve significant milestones already this year, and this month is no different. So stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you behind the scenes working over there at Full Press, helping out the Renegades of Puck. Make sure you give all of their social media feeds a follow. That would go a long way to helping out the Renegades of Puck as well. The audio platforms can be found Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon. We are on so many other platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform today. And again, stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you for checking out the show. We sure do appreciate it. Venmo is how you can help out the show financially. If you can spare $1 to help out this independent hockey operation, it sure would go a long way. Scan the QR code that's currently on your screen or just search Renegades of Puck in Venmo. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you, we are able to not only stay in business, but keep making significant upgrades and changes to the bunker and the entirety of the operation. So again, thank you very much. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you out there. Now listen, I know it's time to get to the No Half Step in Hockey over, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 673. That's right. It is time for show number 673. And at this moment in hockey history, the Milwaukee Admirals are advancing to the Western Conference Finals. A thrilling Game 5 victory in Texas tonight. 5-2 allows the Milwaukee Admirals to win the series 3-2 for their second consecutive series, winning in Game 5, and they will now move on to face off against the Coachella Valley Firebirds in the Western Conference Final Best of 7 series. We will recap everything that happened in Game 5. We'll take you play by play, and then we'll take you through the box score, the stats, the analysis. Brian Batchelor will be in the trenches, and so much more. Game 5 coverage, and we'll just start to dip our toe into the water of the Western Conference Final against the Coachella Valley Firebirds. That entire show and preview of that series will be coming up here on Tuesday afternoon. So we sure do appreciate everyone tuning into the Renegades of Puck podcast. Let's talk about how we got to the Final Four of the Calder Cup playoffs. Then we will narrow down and put the microscope on Game 5 of the Milwaukee Admirals and the Texas Stars. Let's start right there with the Milwaukee Admirals, who advanced to the Western Conference Final by winning their best-of-5 series against the Texas Stars 3-2. The scores were in Game 1, Milwaukee 2, Texas 1. Then in Game 2, it was Texas counter-punching with a 5-3 victory, evening the series up at 1 apiece. In Game 3, it would be Milwaukee responding with a 4-3 victory in Texas, take a 2-1 lead in the series. They would fall 4-3 in double overtime as Texas survived in Game 4 on home ice to even the series up at 2 apiece. And in Game 5, a 5-2 victory for the Milwaukee Admirals, taking the series 3-2. Now the Milwaukee Admirals have played the maximum amount of playoff games that they've been eligible to play in these Calder Cup playoffs, having played 5 games versus Manitoba and winning that series 3-2 in a thrilling 2-1 finish in Game 5. This a little bit different score, 5-2 over the Texas Stars. So the Milwaukee Admirals are the last team standing from the Central Division. On the other side of this particular matchup, the Coachella Valley Firebirds defeated Calgary in this previous round by 3-2 in 5 games. It was 6-3 in Game 1 for Coachella Valley, and Game 2 was 3-2 for Calgary in Game 3, 3-2 for Coachella Valley, but in triple overtime, Calgary would keep the series alive in Game 4 with a 1-0 victory, and then truly one of the most thrilling games you would have an opportunity to watch. In Game 5, the Coachella Valley Firebirds secured a 6-5 victory in overtime, and just one of the most crazy, outrageous third periods you could possibly watch. It was incredible hockey. So that's how we got to the Western Conference final best of 7. Now, the Eastern Conference, their best of 5 series went just a little bit differently. They went exactly the same, but not quite the way the West went. It is Hershey defeating Hartford in their round by a sweep of 3-0. 3-2 was the score in Game 1, 4-2 in Game 2, 3-1 in Game 3. Everything very orderly right there. On the bottom side of that bracket, it was Rochester, and they defeated Toronto, and it was a 4-3 score in Game 1, 7-4, and then 8-4. So Rochester easily dispatches Toronto. Hershey easily dispatches Hartford. Now they'll meet for a best of 7 in the Eastern Conference final. Now, when it comes to this Coachella Valley Firebirds team, just quickly, we told you we'll start to dip our toe in the water with this. When it comes to the leading scorers for the Calder Cup playoffs, it is absolutely dominated by Coachella Valley Firebirds. Lind, 7 goals and 10 assists for 17 points. McCormick is at 7 goals and 8 assists for 15 points. Evans is at 2 goals and 11 assists for 13 points. And Hughes, no goals, 12 assists for 12 points. Now, what is in the middle of these particular 4 Coachella Valley skaters? It is Luke Evangelista, who is third in the AHL Calder Cup playoffs in scoring at this point with 4 goals and 9 assists for 13 points overall. As a matter of fact, let's transition to the Milwaukee Admirals stats where they are at this point in the playoffs. Luke Evangelista, I just mentioned, 13 points, leads the Admirals as third overall in the AHL in scoring. It is Gross with 2 goals and 9 assists for 11 points, second on the Admirals in scoring. Delgado 3 and 5 for 8. Sherwood 2 and 6 for 8. Kemmel 5 goals. That leads the Milwaukee Admirals in the playoffs. Add 1 assist to that for 6 points. Now, remember, he's done that in just 8 games so far in the Calder Cup playoffs. So, Kemmel has 5 goals in 8 games played. Afanasiev, 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points. Sanford also has 6 points. Jankowski has 5 points. Askarov at this point in the playoffs through 2 rounds, a record of 6-4, 260 saves on 286 opportunities, a .909 save percentage, and a 2.44 goals against average. When you go all the way back to the regular season, Askarov had a .911 save percentage through the entirety of the regular season. So far in the playoffs, a .909 save percentage, a 2.69 goals against average throughout the entirety of the regular season, a 2.44 now through 10 games in the playoffs. He has started and played every minute of every game, aside from the brief time he's been pulled for an extra attacker in these games. But Askarov has played every game for the Milwaukee Admirals so far through 2 rounds and is expected to continue on playing through the rest of these playoffs. Now, it was the shots on goal was one of the dominant stories between these two teams in the series. 169 for Milwaukee, 146 for Texas. The Admirals just absolutely, other than this last game, just dominated in shots on goal. 33-27, 37-21, 29-26, 45-33, and this last game was the only time they were outshot, 25-39, and there's a reason that happened, and I'll get into that here in just a moment. So we've got 2 conference finals series set, best of 7. We know the Calder Cup champion will be the Milwaukee Admirals, the Coachella Valley Firebirds, Hershey, or Rochester. We know that's who will be winning the Calder Cup. Which teams will be meeting in the final series? We will be here each and every night to break it down for you. Very much looking forward to this next round of the Calder Cup playoffs for the Milwaukee Admirals. It has been quite a while since they have made it this far in the playoffs. All right, that's got you all set up on where we sit right now. Again, full series preview coming up on Tuesday between Milwaukee and Coachella Valley. For now, we're going to put the microscope and focus on everything that happened in Game 5. And let's start with the Rebirth Sports full game recap. It's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to May the 21st of the year 2023 when the Milwaukee Admirals were in Texas to take on the Stars in Game 5. We are just 1 minute and 1 second into Game 5 in the first period. It's Murray coming with a save on Gravel with plenty of traffic in front. It's the first shot on goal of the game, plus the second came on this sequence with the follow-up there in front on the jam. 1:25 in the first period. Askarov coming with a save on Caro. First touch of the game for Yaroslav Askarov. 3:40, Askarov would have another touch already, a save on Back, who scored the overtime game winner in Game 4. 6:09 in the first period, Murray comes up with a save on Sherwood's wrist shot. 7:30, Murray comes up with a save on Gross at 8:12 of the first period. It's Willsby for the Admirals coming in with the second goal of the Calder Cup playoffs, giving the Milwaukee Admirals a 1-0 lead. It was Philip Tomasino with the setup for the long, heavy shot. Excellent vision by Philip Tomasino and some outstanding patience to go ahead and hold the D just long enough to set up the perfect shot and shooting lane for Willsby. 1-0 in favor of the Admirals early in this Game 5. 9:23 of the first period. It's Askarov coming with a save on Loxonin. 11:29 of the first period. Still Guyzo's third goal of the playoffs. It's a long shot through tons of traffic. Admirals getting good shots from out there at the blue line, also getting plenty of traffic in the net here early in the first period. It is 2-0 in favor of the Milwaukee Admirals. 11:29 into the first period. 11:36 of the first period. It's Damiani off to the box. 2 minutes 4 high, thinking that's going to find Kemmel getting his fourth goal of the Calder Cup playoffs. It was a one-time bomb from the left circle, giving the Milwaukee Admirals a 3-0 lead over the Texas Stars in this series deciding Game 5. 12:40 of the first period. It's McCarron off the box. 2 minutes 4 tripping, and Askarov about to grab his hard hat and clock in and go to work. A save on Studenek's Knuckler, and then another save on Barber, then another save on Gleason. He would make one more save before the end of this power play situation. 19:02 of the first period. It's Kemmel scoring again, his second goal of the period, his fifth goal of the playoffs. It was a deflection through the 5-hole of Del Guyzo's shot, giving the Milwaukee Admirals a 4-0 lead over the Texas Stars here at the end of the first period. It would be the Admirals out shooting the Stars 14-9 in the first period. We start the second period with a goaltending change for the Texas Stars. Murray, who had played every minute of the series up until right now, is pulled out of the game, giving up 4 goals on 14 shots against the first period. Poirier, who faced the Admirals multiple times in the regular season, is in for the Texas Stars. 1:38 into the second period. Askarov coming with a save on Studenik at 1:48, though, in the second period. It's Damiani's second goal of the playoffs, getting Texas on the board. It was a wrist shot from the slot over the glove of Askarov, and early on in the second period, it appears the Admirals have taken their foot off the gas and have certainly not come out with a killer mentality. It is 4-1 now in favor of Milwaukee over Texas at 5:02 of the second period. Askarov comes with a save on Reedy with the glove. It's very obvious that the Texas Stars were looking to go back to that glove side and test that glove, and Askarov was ready for it. At 7:39, Poirier comes up with a save on Angelo at 8:03. Poirier comes with a save on Ratcliffe, plus the follow-up. It seems the Admirals at the 8-minute mark of the second period are re-engaging in this game, but then at 8:47, Askarov comes with a save on Studenik's partial breakaway. 11:16 of the second period. Askarov coming with a save on Caro, plus the rebound by Stranges, and it's a big, timely saver. Here's the 10th shot on goal of the period for the Texas Stars. Unfortunately for the Admirals, at 12:15, Ratcliffe's off the box. 2 minutes for interference, but fortunately for the Admirals in this scenario, they do have Yaroslav Askarov, and he's about to come up with some big-time save. 2 of them in a row on Bork, then Stranges, then on Reedy before the end of the power play situation for the Stars. Another big-time save sequence for Askarov. At 16:04 of the second period, it is Jankowski off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Askarov comes up with a save on Barber in this scenario, and the Admirals doing a much better job on this PK, only giving up that one shot against 19:35 of the second period. It's Askarov coming up with a save on Back. We hit the end of the second period, and now it is Texas leading in shots on goal. The only goal of the period goes to the Texas Stars. Stars now 26 shots on goal for the game. Milwaukee has 19. The Stars generated 17 shots on goal in the second period. So Askarov was 16 of 17 in the second period and frankly did the bulk of the work that period. We go into the third period now. 20 seconds in. It's Askarov back to work. He's coming with a save on Tufte, who had a fairly good series and was a bit of a pest against the Milwaukee Admirals team. 3:30 of the third period. Poirier comes with a save on Ratcliffe at close range. 4:37 in the third gets Kemmel and Gleason each off to the box with minor penalties. We see a 4-on-4 situation, and nothing would happen right here. Askarov would come up with a save on Bartow at 6:58 of the third period. 8:11 of the third period. It would be Askarov coming with a save on Gleason with the arm. More difficult save than it looked. The more times you looked at it on the replay, the more you realize Askarov barely got the arm out there for it. 8:23 of the third period. Kamano's off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. And then Petrovic is going to be off the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. This is going to lead to a 5-on-3 for the Admirals for 1 minute and 29 seconds. And both of these penalties were drawn by Kemmel. Unfortunately for the Admirals, Kamano comes up with a shorthanded goal out of the box in what was perhaps the single silliest play of the entire series, taking place in the third period of Game 5. Askarov loses the race to the puck as he comes way out of the net, and the puck is taken by Kamano right around him and shot into the empty net. While he's shooting the puck into the empty net, the stick, the blocker, the glove, all the pieces of equipment come sliding across the ice in what was obviously an intentional attempt to throw equipment to try to stop the puck from going into the empty net. The only surprising part of this scenario is that it wasn't called a penalty on Askarov, and the play was able to continue. The Admirals had a power play for a brief amount of time after this, but everything for Milwaukee just kind of froze for the next couple of minutes after this. Not unfortunate. This is stupid goal against. Something that can't happen. Rookie netminder has to learn a lesson. The only thing you can hope is that a lesson was learned in this situation. 4-2 now in favor of Milwaukee. Back to the recap. 11:39 of the third period. Stastny blocks Akiro's shot at the top of the blue paint. This was perhaps the biggest play of the entire third period, and this is what allowed the Admirals to maintain their 2-goal lead. 16:54, we go to the empty net scenario for the Texas Stars at 17:39. Askarov with a save on Damiani at 17:54, another save on Bork. 18:31, a save on Barber, and then finally at 19:33 of the third period, it's Afanasiev with the empty net goal, his second of the playoffs, the fifth for the Milwaukee Admirals. 5-2 lead here. The Admirals would close this thing out, and that would be your final score, 5-2. Texas outshoots the Admirals in this game 39-25, and it was the Admirals scoring 4 goals in the first period, and then basically taking their foot off the gas, shutting it down, and being outshot in some insanely dramatic proportion from the beginning of the second period on. We started the second period with the shots on goal being 14-9 in favor of Milwaukee, and we finished the game with the shots on goal being 39-25 in favor of the Texas Stars. It is not going to work out very many times for you when you take your foot off the gas, especially against an offensive dynamo that the Texas Stars were this season. The Admirals found a way to get by and survive, and they did something that they were not able to do in the regular season. They won 2 games in Texas in the season series. During the regular season, they only won 1 game down there in all of their opportunities. So highly impressive stuff by the Milwaukee Admirals to defeat the Central Division winning Texas Stars, who had home ice advantage and had played dominant on home ice against the Admirals throughout the season series against. So good job by the Admirals. Good job by Carl Taylor getting his team through in what is a very, very difficult circumstance. 5 games against Manitoba and now 5 games against the Texas Stars. Best of 7 coming up against the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Askarov is going to have to play tighter hockey. The Admirals defense is going to have to continue what it's been doing, and the forwards, some of them, are really going to have to pick up the scoring if the Admirals are going to have a chance to defeat the Coachella Valley Firebirds in a best of 7 series. That team is just an offensive juggernaut throughout the entirety of the playoffs so far. We'll talk about the analysis of Game 5. We'll get into the box score. Brian Baston will also be here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes to bottle workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Yaroslav Askarov was 37 out of 39 in this game, and it was his worst game of the series. There's no doubt about that. It was the most saves in 37, the highest shot volume he faced in the series, but the two worst goals against in this series. The wrist shot for the first goal, no traffic in front, just simply over the glove from long distance. That happened too many times in this series. That needs to be tightened up, whether it's a lack of focus or whatever it is. It needs to be tightened up for Askarov moving on into the next round. And coming out to try to win the race against the offensive player who was going to get a breakaway, need to stay in the crease, need to stay in there and make the save. I have faith that Askarov can make that save on the breakaway, but he's rarely going to win a race when he has to come that far out of the net, and it was, frankly, an embarrassing moment for the Milwaukee Admirals. The rookie netminder needs to learn lessons, and he seems to need to learn the lessons the hard way. Throwing the stick and the blocker and the glove, it was too much. It's shocking, absolutely shocking that he was not penalized. This exact moment could have cost the Admirals in such a steep way. I'm glad it did not. I hope that there's a lesson learned. Askarov needs to be less aggressive in moments like that. Up by 3 goals. There was no reason for it. Now, for the series, 132 of 146, 14 goals against. Of course, a 3-2 record for the overall playoff, 6-4, 2.44 goals against, a 909 save percentage. And he held the Texas Stars to a much lower goals per game than what they had done during the regular season. The regular season, 3.68 per game was best overall in the AHL. In the playoffs, they scored 5-4-4 coming in to this round against Rockford, and Askarov held them down considerably below that, except for Game 2. Other than that, Askarov did just what he needed to do to help win this series. Now 6-4 overall. The Admirals have played 10 games already in the Calder Cup playoffs. So let's talk about a couple of the player performances in this game. Kemmel, 2 goals, now 5 goals in the playoffs. That leads the Admirals. Remember doing that in only 8 games, and it was without a doubt a season-defining performance. It was a do-or-die game, and Kemmel absolutely went out there and did. It is the biggest game of the early part of his professional career here in the Nashville Predators organization, and he came through huge, drawing power plays for the Admirals all over the ice, scoring goals, generating shots on net, 5 of them to lead this team. Kemmel, the rookie, truest of rookies, went out there and just dominated against the best team in the Central Division, the Texas Stars. Truly an eye-opening performance from Kemmel. Luke Evangelista with 2 assists in this game now brings him up to a total of 13 points. Not only does that lead the Milwaukee Admirals in scoring, but it also is 3rd overall in the Calder Cup playoffs in scoring, and a dominant series in every way. Luke Evangelista is just becoming quickly one of the favorite power forwards to watch on this Milwaukee Admirals team. He found early success with the Nashville Predators in his first opportunity, getting a chance in the NHL, now back for a Calder Cup playoff run, and he is seizing the opportunity the way we thought other players would go ahead and seize the reins. Well, it's Luke Evangelista who is absolutely taking the biggest of this opportunity, leading the team in scoring, and just a dominant series in every way. He was truly unbelievable to watch in all 5 of these games against the Texas Stars. Texas Stars. Jankowski, 2 assists in this game, his strongest game of the series, and came at just the right time. Look, he's got a lot of experience. He's being counted on to help make big things happen for this Milwaukee Admirals team. So Jankowski coming in with his strongest game of the series and it being in Game 5 and helping the Admirals advance to the conference finals. Well, he is doing the job that he was sent there to do. Delgado, a goal and assist, 8 points in the playoffs. The blue line just chipping in so many different ways. Truly, the Milwaukee Admirals defensemen in this series and in the entire Calder Cup playoff run so far have come up big just in so many ways. They're chipping in offensively. They're playing incredible defense. As a matter of fact, that just rolls right into my next point. The defense only gave up 15 goals against the best offense in the entire regular season. Again, 3.68 goals per game, 265 total goals in the regular season. And in 5 games, the Admirals defense gave up 15. So that's 3 per game, holding them 0.68 goals below what they were averaging in the regular season. And the defense was doing it all over the place. They were blocking shots, sacrificing, the PK, all of it. Just incredible work by the Milwaukee Admirals defense. The goaltending at time gave up some soft goals. The offense wasn't always there. The power play certainly didn't contribute in games 3 and 4, but the defense held strong this entire series against a Texas Stars team that had won 5-3, 4-1, and 4-2 already against Rockford in the previous round of the playoffs. The Admirals did an incredible job defensively keeping the Texas Stars at bay so that they could win the series on the road, taking 2 out of 3 in Texas. Highly improbable, but this Milwaukee Admirals just simply has a no quit, never say die attitude, and that has taken them a long way already, and it could take them a much longer way. Listen, I want to hear from Brian Baston. I know Brian has a lot to say about Game 5 and about the series in general, so let's get to it. From ontheforecheck.com, he's got the charts you need to see and the numbers you need to know. He is the one and only Brian Baston.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Well, after an exciting series and an even more exciting first period, the Milwaukee Admirals took advantage of a 4-0 first period lead to come back and win this series after falling down 2-1 to win the series and move on to their first trip to the Western Conference Finals in the AHL Calder Cup playoffs since the 2005-06 season. Now, we can talk a lot about how they got there, and yes, we can talk a little bit about Yaroslav Askarov's little mistake that he made coming out of the net and getting beat for the second goal for Texas, but ultimately that did not matter. And it's time for me, since we're at the end of the series, to talk about the player of the series. And before I do that, though, I do want to mention an honorable mention, and it was very hard, very close of a decision for me for this one. But let's talk first about Joachim Kamel, who has arrived in Milwaukee with purpose. I mean, this guy has come in and done basically whatever he wants. In 14 regular season games with the Milwaukee Admirals, he had 6 goals, 7 assists for 13 points. 3 of those goals were power play goals. And guess what? In 8 playoff games in these Calder Cup playoffs, Kamel has 5 goals, 1 assist, 6 points, and 3 power play goals, including the one tonight, which counts as the game winner. Now, it was close. I mean, this is a guy who came straight over from playing overseas, jumping onto the Admirals, and has started dominating. But there's one guy that we need to talk about that has been pretty, well, just no matter how you look at it, outstanding this series. And so tonight's one big stat is our player of the series, Luke Evangelista. Now, what has Luke Evangelista done? Well, let's talk about this series. In this series against Texas, Luke Evangelista scored at least 1 point in every single one of the games against the Stars. He had 2-point nights in Game 6, Game 8, and Game 10, which is really, really impressive to me. So for 8 points in 5 games. Now, for the playoffs, Luke Evangelista is sitting at 10 games with 4 goals, 9 assists, and 13 points with 1 power play goal, in addition to his 49 games in the regular season for 9 goals and 32 assists. But Luke Evangelista has been pretty much everywhere. The only 2 games he did not score in so far in these Calder Cup playoffs are Game 4 and 5 against Manitoba, but he has, so far he has 5 multi-point games in 10 playoff games, which is incredibly impressive. And again, I think back to when I saw him at development camp, and he just looked like he was skating and playing on a different level than every one of his teammates. And it hasn't really changed too much. His teammates have gotten better, which is great, really is good. But Luke Evangelista is NHL ready. And we saw that, this season with him in the NHL. But I think this guy, alongside, Kiefer Sherwood, Jordan Gross, even Joakim Kamel maybe, these guys are ready. And if you're the Preds coaching staff or the Preds ownership group or the general manager, Barry Trotz, right now, you've got to be pretty happy about what they've got going on right now in Milwaukee. But we can talk about the Predators another time, because guess what? Next up are the Western Conference Finals with the Coachella Valley Firebirds, which is going to be fun. It's going to be a whole lot of late night games, I think, for Game 1 and Game 2. I think those are both 9 p.m. puck drops. So we'll see you next week all through the Western Conference Finals as they move their way towards the Calder Cup. And it's going to be a late one, but there's nowhere else I'd rather be than here in the trenches with you, Renegades. So until then, we'll see you after Game 1, but go Admirals, and let's see them win the Western Conference Finals. Charlie?
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. When it comes to the box score, goal scores for the Milwaukee Admirals, Kemmel with 2 in this game led the Admirals. Now, of course, 5 for the Calder Cup playoffs leads the Milwaukee Admirals. 1 for Afanasyev, the empty net goal right there at the end of the game. Willsby got things going early on in the game with his goal, and Delgado also with a goal. On the assist side of things, Jankowski had 2. He led the Admirals in this game. Sherwood also chips in with 1. Tomasino chips in with 1. Evangelista with 2. Gravel with 1, and Delgado also with 1. In the shots on goal category, Kemmel had 5. We also saw Sherwood generating 3, and Isaac Ratcliffe, again, another nice game for Ratcliffe. 3 shots on net, highly noticeable again. Gravel also had 3 shots on net in this game. Askarov in net, 37 out of 39, the most shots he's faced in this series, the most saves he's made in this series as well. Just a couple of other numbers before we check on out of the box score. The shots on goal for this game, Texas 39-25, and for the series, it was the Admirals out shooting the Texas Stars 169-146, and the special teams did end up being a significant player in the series. The Admirals go 4 of 16 in this round of the playoffs, while the Texas Stars go 2 out of 13, and it is in Game 5 where the Admirals go 1 out of 3, and Texas Stars go 0 out of 3, and that is one of the differences in Game 5 to support the Milwaukee Admirals getting that victory. That's going to do it for the box score, and listen, it's time to close things up. It's time to enjoy winning Game 5. It's time to enjoy being the last team standing from the Central Division. It's just not time to do that for too long. Listen, enjoy it for tonight. Enjoy the recap and enjoy the celebrations and the revelatory moments that come in making it to the conference finals, but it is not to sit around on this Coachella Valley team. As a matter of fact, we'll get into the full series breakdown. We've already given you a couple of the impressive offensive numbers for this Firebirds team, but let's tell you what the most important thing is for right now. Enjoy defeating the Texas Stars. The Manitoba Moose, the Texas Stars, both high-quality opponents from the Central Division. It is the Admirals that are the last team standing from the Central Division, and now they will face off with the other best of the West in the Coachella Valley Firebirds, and they will start that series. Game 1 will be Thursday night, 9 Central Time is the puck drop with the West Coast series and the home ice advantage for Coachella. It will be 9 o'clock Central will be the start time for Games 1 and Game 2 on Thursday and Saturday, when the series switches to Milwaukee Monday and Thursday. So on June the 1st, Milwaukee Admirals will still be playing hockey, and they'll be hosting Game 4. That'll be at 7 o'clock Central Time. So enjoy it for tonight, but start getting ready for Coachella Valley in the next day, and then get ready for the pregame and the preview show coming up from us for the best of 7 series in the Western Conference Finals, the Calder Cup playoffs. Milwaukee Admirals advance for the second consecutive series in Game 5, and now will face off against the Coachella Valley Firebirds in the Western Conference best of 7 final. That was a hell of a series right there between these two teams. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up on that note right there, and we will see you on Tuesday right here as we get ready for Game 1 and get ready for the series coming up against the Coachella Valley Firebirds. For Brian Baston and each and every one of the Renegades of Puck, I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.